Hello and welcome to Bronze Age Monsters, the show where we wade into the weirdest and wildest waters of the comic books of the 1970s. This season on B.A.M, we're covering the brief life of Atlas Seaboard Comics, the publishing venture of Martin Goodman that some say was a middle finger to Marvel and Stan Lee. Revenge is a dish best served in 4 colors. I'm Matt Howell.
I'm Jacob Balcom.
Thank you for joining us this week, listeners and viewers. Nice to have you here. Jacob, I was just showing off to you, but I guess there's no need to show off. You have the same thing, but for our viewers here, I'm sporting a snazzy My Favorite Nightmare podcast t-shirt featuring some art from a Skywald cover. Our friend Matt Harvey sent these to us, and yeah, we haven't given a plug in the last few episodes, but man, I'm sure loving that show. Like whenever it's Ace Audio Production. So basically, folks, if you haven't heard it yet, my favorite podcast is Matt Harvey, who's been on the show a couple times, really cool guy. He started doing doing the Power Records treatment for Skywald horror comics. And he does original music for them. He's a great composer. He's in several bands. And he does, cool dramatic readings of all the character voices and stuff. And you can get it as a podcast, but I subscribe to the YouTube channel because he sticks the art in like the same way we do. So you get the full treatment on YouTube. So whenever I get a notification that a new episode's out, I watch that every time I have a coffee break at work, the next coffee break. It's great.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
And now he has merch. So, yeah, check it out, man. And thanks, Matt, for the merch. I love the shirt. Love it. Okay. Yeah. So any ballot news before we dive in here, Jacob?
I've got an area submission.
Have we? Well, I haven't put them out yet. I wanted to talk on the air. Is it done?
I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, it's as ready as it's going to be. Everything's up there. It's just me wading through the many Excel equations to count it up. But yeah, the raw file or ballot's up, so people can just go and pick your top 5.
Okay, and just to recap, then I'm going to tonight after we record this, I'm going to put that out on our Patreon as a free public post. I'm going to put it on our Blue Sky feed, and I'm going to put it in our Threads feed, and I'm going to make a post about it on Instagram, but you can't really do I could do a link tree thing in Instagram, but it's kind of a pain in the ass, so I'd rather you just, I'll just tell you where to go from Instagram, but that should be enough. And then, and I'll stick something in the show notes too, a link to the Google ballot in this show notes too, and in the description on YouTube. So you have no excuse not to vote as of this episode. Question. What if someone's excited to fill their ballot out? They fill it out, they submit it, and then they hear us talk about that Western comic and like, oh man, I would have voted differently. Is it editable? Is it like real votes? Once they're in, they're in?
Yeah, once they're in, they're in.
Okay. So we'll get them out there, but bear in mind, folks, you might want to hold back, but the power is yours. Democratic power. All right. So we were going to have our good friend B.A.M on to talk about Hands of the Dragon with us, but he needed to reschedule because of some family stuff. So we're hoping maybe we can have him on for the next issue, which is Blazing Battle Tale. What's it called? I can't remember the name of this one.
Blazing Battle Action? Or Blazing Battle? I think it is Blazing Battle Tales, actually.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I thought maybe, if he's available then, we'll have him on then. We'll have to talk to Ben again before the show wraps. But hey, Ben, how you doing? All right. So we are talking about the Hands of the Dragon. And this one, Jacob, I've kind of had my eye on for a little bit here. I'm going to pull this into the stage. All right. So this hit the shelves on May 7th of 1975. It's cover dated June of 75, which I thought was really bizarre. And we encountered that with, I think, Grace on Fright, where we were kind of wondering, like, wait a minute, why is this out a month before the pull date? We didn't come up with any good reason, did we?
Well, I mean, I think it has maybe a little something to do that, this is the last, we're in the last gasps.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, this is May, right? Like their first issue hit the stands in September of 74. And I think their last one hit the stands in September of 75. So, I mean, it's not, I mean, it is and it isn't the last gasp, right? I mean, like, there was still some stuff dribbling out. There were still a few wolves. Mm-hmm. There were still a couple scorpions. Like there was, whatever the ones went to 4 issues, Destructor. Those were still kind of coming out, but I think they had definitely pulled the brake on like new titles.
Mm-hmm.
the title Bukkake was over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this cover is by Jim Craig. And so if you're just listening, folks, I love this cover. This is one of those ones that has the top third is just a color field with the logo on it. So it just would pop out at you from the newsstand. Red field with the hands of the dragon. Hands has a blue drop shadow. Dragon looks appropriately esoteric and mystical and oriental. And the bottom 2/3, I am a huge fan of this cover. It has the titular hero. He's kind of like, I think this is inevitable. It looks a bit like Iron Fist, but without the full cowl. It's like the cowl's cut off so his hair can hang out. And instead of being blue and yellow, he's got a green tunic with red pants and red mask. And he's in a theater, and he's doing a flying kick into a dude with full color, full tattoos all over his body, who's holding a wicked Kirby-looking weapon that's just coming out on us like almost 3D manner out to the camera. And there's one of Jacob's favorite things, a big balloon that says, "From the Holocaust of an atomic explosion comes the toughest kung fu fighter of them all." Origin issue.
We got the origin issue down there. Yes.
What do you think of this one? I fucking love it. This has been one of my favorite ones since I first saw it.
I like it a lot. Yeah. I mean, it really grew on me. The gun, especially. I mean, I don't know. And just the way, just the perspective, just everything about it for something that is just 2/3 of the cover. Like it's it's really cool. I don't know. I'm not shocked that I love it so much, but it has a bunch of nonsense. But you're right. There's something about it that's very charming.
Oh, actually, am I wrong, Jacob? Is that not a Kirby gun? Is that a Steranko gun?
I don't know.
Or is that a Kirby gun?
I mean, those are two very similar things, I would think. But yes.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It seemed a little more Kirby to me, but I love it.
So yeah, when I looked up, I was doing my show notes to look up to make sure, the interior artist is the guy that did the cover art. I also noticed in GCD that there was a little note below the cover credits that said we have distribution numbers, we have the dates that it had to hit the printer, we have the dates of we have how many issues went to the UK, how many went to the US, and Jacob reminded me, hey, we have that doc that we talked about, I think when Grace was on, and we were saying we have some figures, some behind the scenes figures from Kupperberg about how these things were going to the printer, how many titles were going on, struck. So we thought we kind of dig in here, just like, since we don't have our guest Ben to talk and visit with a little bit extra long, let's use this time to geek out and do some inside baseball crap.
Yeah, so I'm glad I'll get to talk through this with you. So yeah, this was a document that Paul Kupperberg uploaded to his Facebook, I think a few years ago. But it's basically, stats, due dates, what the whole plan was for what looks like Atlas's, next quarter of titles and a few new titles and titles that, that we know didn't come out. And so, at the top there, we see it's date is June, it says Hands of the Dragon. And I thought it was interesting. So it has a line that says Duet Chemical, which I'm assuming, it's like Perfect Chemical Corporation, even though it was Cadence by this time. So I don't even know why it said that. I thought it was a little weird. But it says the cover price and I don't know, color, start ship, on sale. It says how many are being printed for the US, how many are being printed for England, and then total for that. But I think it's interesting. So it's saying everything like in that first. So do you think all of those were 428 was their due at the presses, or just Wolf 4? I didn't quite understand that one.
Oh, I that's a good question. I thought everything up to Wolf 4 was 428. I don't know.
That's what I kind of thought too. But then we get down, and so Demon Hunter is the last one that was actually published on that list. Everything else was not published.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's funny. It seems like one thing of word puzzles was published, which is crossed out on most of these. But it says in August of 75, that word puzzles number 5 would be published, which is something that has been kind of hinted at in some of these documents, but that we've never seen as far as Atlas Seaboard is concerned.
Yeah, I guess. I guess that's just a Seaboard periodical probably thing, puzzle mags. And they're probably something that they just farmed out to a third party to make the contents of. So they probably didn't advertise much for it. You know what I mean? I feel like that's just something that's just at newsstands and like airports, and it's just like a grocery checkouts. Like it's just nothing you really tout as a creative endeavor, but is a moneymaker.
Yeah, it's a moneymaker. So yeah, one of those survives. The rest of them are crossed out. But yeah, I thought so. So we're seeing a lot of the publishing numbers. So let's just take this issue we're talking about right now, Hands of the Dragon number 1, which it says in U.S. and Canada, 235,350 were published, and in England it's another 15,000. I like it says 15M. I'm just like 15 million. That's crazy.
Yeah, why is it M?
I don't know why it's M. It's really confusing. I had to do the math. I'm just like, oh, they just mean 15,000.
Like in like Latin-based language, like mil means 1,000, right? Like in Spanish. And I wonder if they just it's an old like publishing shorthand that's just from like European publishers or something.
That would be cool. But yeah, so I mean, it's showing all the. So I think it's interesting. It's like start ship date, and yeah, like we get an on sale date of May 7th for Hands of the Dragon 1, and then yeah, we see the stats for. So Thrilling Adventures, as the magazines have a much lower. I thought Thrilling Adventures 2 is only 100,000 are being published of that, even though 25,000 in England, which I thought was, I don't know, interesting. Maybe the magazine market worked a little better over there. But yeah. I thought, I mean, what's most interesting about this list is just everything that's under Demon Hunter, because it shows what would have been. It shows we got another issue of Barbarians, issue 5 of Vicky 5. There's a couple 5s. There's the Destructor 5, Ironjaw 5. You know, oh my God, Ironjaw gets a 6 down there. Wolf gets a 6. Yep. Like, and then there's new titles that, you know, Cro-Mag 1 we would have gotten.
Yeah, we would have gotten that.
And yeah, just a lot of different stuff, you know, Planet of the Vampires, Brute, Cougar. Like, you're right. Like, there's no new titles aside from the Cro-Mag, what I guess was going to be a new title, but all the rest are just, yeah, continuing, you know, this stuff to go, you know, just titles that we already have seen, like continuing those titles. But yeah, none of that happened. Work stopped after, what looks like Demon Hunter 1.
I can only hope and pray that Tales of Evil, which seems to be slated to go on, would have been Bogbeast's book.
I would think so, right?
There's an Earth where that happened.
Because so we get Tales of Evil 4. I don't think we get Tales of Evil 5, but it goes on to 4, which is cool.
Yeah. I would like to think it's it goes on with that Spanish artist, and then there's like a Grandinetti short, and another rotating artist coming in for
awesome would that have
a
been?
Boyette or something. That'd be so cool. Yeah, they were still planning on doing those film, what were those called that we did a brief thing,
the
movie monsters.
Those? Yeah, they were gonna do that. But so it seems like as far as stuff sent to the printers, that, you know, it says for September, Tales of Evil 4, so it was supposed to be due at the printer on May 29th.
So that's interesting, huh?
And that's
so
it.
That means they knew the writing was on the wall late April, right? That's when they knew.
Yeah, I mean,
Barbarians 2, April 18th, it was supposed to be due at the printer. So, yeah,
exactly.
They knew by April. They knew by late April, early May that they weren't going to be going on.
Yeah, I mean, and this is going to coincide with Martin Goodman coming back from Florida and being like, "What the fuck," and then just canceling Christmas forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought this was really, really interesting, and it just shows when the work stoppage was. And yeah, you're right. I mean, this is published until November, but they're done.
And it's interesting, right? Because this is also when our friend DAK, David Kraft, was being groomed to take over the creative to become the next Jeff Roven, essentially. Mm-hmm. I think Larry was going to stay on as like the nominal editor-in-chief, but I think David Anthony Kraft was going to be the creative showrunner of Atlas.
Yeah, and he seemed stoked from the, few little blurbs we got of him, a couple write-ups, in some of the magazines. We got him writing something up in Fright, and what else was it?
Barbarians?
Yeah, Barbarians. Yeah, so that would have that would have been great. But as we know, like, I don't think DAK was there very long at all, honestly.
No, I think Marty came back from Florida probably in early June or mid-May and called a staff meeting.
Yeah, I would think so.
Did some slaughtering.
Well, because I don't even think that's the thing. It's just like by, Barbarians 2 is the next thing that was supposed to be done. And we know there's nothing for that except them doing, the cool, having the stats of the cool Euro comic that we liked so much.
Yeah, I thought Gary said, had he taken over Wolf by that point? I thought Gary said that there was a full script for Wolf to have his own Barbarians story.
Oh, in the actual Barbarians book, not in his own book. Because he goes on, because there's a Wolf 6 published for December that's on the schedule there.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. It was either Larry or him that said, like, I handed off of the scripts for them. Like, that book was going to go, and there was stuff for it. I don't know how many pencils there were, but there were stories written.
So, I mean,
that's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a bummer. And we know that, they were obviously planning for, all these books, all these issues that didn't come out to come out. But we're talking about work stoppage after Demon Hunter 1. Like, just flat out, like no more work. Nothing's being paid for. Everything's shut down. Creative wise.
Yeah, not even like Martin's weird nephew coming in and making word search puzzles.
Nope. Those are canceled too. This is like, burn it to the ground. Yeah.
So it's cool that you brought this in. I'm so glad you found this on that Kupperberg's Facebook page. That's awesome. Again, you and I could do an entire show just speculating and going through numbers like this. I love this crap. So, if you're just listening, we were showing this, but and we'll maybe stick it up somewhere. I don't know, on Instagram or Threads or Blue Sky or all three, so people can dig through if they really want to see it. But cool. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, no, I was really fascinated by it, and was bummed I didn't get to get a copy of Word Scanner Special #1.
I imagine I did. Every time I read through those comic book artist interviews, I get the sense there was definitely just art boards and stuff just tucked behind desks that were just like people took them home and they're somewhere, somebody's attic, somebody gave them to their niece or nephew, or oh, thanks uncle, more shit I gotta keep.
Yeah,
there's beautiful art somewhere in the world just sitting in somebody's, shimming up somebody's bookcase against their wall.
Yep.
There's a little gap there that was annoying. Oh well. Let's I heard everybody's kung fu fighting.
I mean, that's what I've heard. So yeah, let's jump in.
Before we actually do this, Jacob, let's do a genre check.
Okay.
I've mentioned on here a few times, people might have seen my Kung Fu Theater shirt. I'm a Kung Fu movie fan. I'm not a super fan. I don't get weird about it. I think I'm probably the general Gen Xer. My first memories of Kung Fu existing were like seeing Bruce Lee posters at the state fair or whatever, like when I'd win a prize or get one of those, remember those mirrors that had the little weird paper border?
Those mirrors were awesome. No.
They had a kiss on them, or Judas Priest, or Jim Morrison.
I never got one of those. I was always just like right below the erasers and anything in this general area.
Oh boy.
Sorry. Can we drink for one jerk reference?
Well, it's a Reiner. So.
Oh man. Yikes. Yeah. Pour one out for that.
Reiner. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, and I always drink for the jerk. It's one of my most seen movies. Probably in the mid 60s, I'd say, or early 70s views for me.
Yeah.
I've mentioned before that was one of those we can't decide what to rent in the early days of VHS rentals. So it's Blues Brothers or the Jerk. It was just our default. I don't know. Just get the Jerk. Just get Blues Brothers. So I've seen those a bizarre amount of times. So yeah, I mean, like I knew about Bruce Lee. I was obsessed with him as a kid. Had posters on my wall. Kind of fell off a little bit for me. You know, the funny like SNL, like faking doing the mouth, the dubbing type of stuff, and some comedy sketches. You know, kind of became a hackneyed stand-up comic bit in the 80s. And then when Wu-Tang came back, it all came back for me. And I got totally back. Like when they sampled the shit out of Kung Fu movies and they were obsessed with it and brought it into the foreground. And so I've just been kind of back into Kung Fu ever since then. But yeah, what's your relationship with Kung Fu as a genre?
Well, yeah, similar to you. I mean, it was just kind of everywhere when I was a little kid, you know, and you'd see Enter the Dragon and, yeah, I never got in comics wise. I never much got into it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Wu-Tang kind of just brought everything back, weirdly enough, now that I think about it. But yeah, you can just think, and yeah, so much was sampled. I mean, I can just think of the genius way that Shogun Assassin is sampled on the Liquid Swords record, which is just, you know, I think one of my favorite hip hop records of all time. But
goddamn right.
Yeah, so a lot of that. And actually, you know, my favorite memories recently, of course, is going to Kung Fu theater with you. I think we saw Shaw Brothers, Vampire.
Seven Brothers meet the Seven Golden Brothers.
Yeah.
Dracula, whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. So yeah, I've loved going with you. And yeah, it's so cool to go to, you know, Kung Fu theater. And the guy that programs that, Jesus, is just like the expert, world renowned, trades prints with Tarantino. So, you know.
Yeah. And I really do want to make a short documentary about him. I think I've told you this before, but he went to like some Vancouver, BC theater that was like in a junkie, like literally like heroin junkie neighborhood, totally dodgy. It was a Chinese district. It had been closed for years. Somebody took him in. They opened up a trapdoor on the stage, and the entire bottom of the stage was stuffed with reels of Kung Fu films. He bought them all crazy low price from like the kid, you know, previous owner's kid or whatever. So he has like some of the only existing prints of tons of Kung Fu movies in his private collection and shows them at Kung Fu Theater at the Hollywood. So yeah, one of my happy places, which is, by the way, gotten so popular that it sells out every time now. So it's kind of weird. I mean, it's cool, right? It's not trying to be like a gatekeeper old man, but it's like, damn, I remember when that was like half full.
I know it's cool, but man, I know every time I go back to Portland and I go to the Hollywood for something, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That place has surged in popularity. Good for them.
Good for them.
They're doing God's work.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And it's, you know, it's a fucking nonprofit, right? And it, it, you know, saved Movie Madness, the beloved, you know, video store that all of us loved. So no, good stuff. But yeah, stuff sells out really, really quick. I do remember half full, really cool events, but yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I was gonna take Athena and her girlfriend to Lady Snowblood next week, and just asked her like, "Hey, do you want to go?" I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Watch the trailer. Let me know. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, and like by the time she got back, yeah, we want to see it. Sold out.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
But similar. Yeah, similar to you, but yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I've only gotten into Kung Fu comics recently, as like in the course of doing this show. Like I've liked Iron Fist. I've always liked Iron Fist, but I've never really dug into, you know, Master of Kung Fu, Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. Most of that stuff was new to me, like in the last couple of years, and I've been loving it. Great stuff. So yeah, this is, I imagine, them wanting a little bit of that Marvel Kung Fu comic money.
Yeah, definitely is. Which, so I don't think we have a title to this. It just is Hands of the Dragon.
It's the origin issue.
It's the origin issue. So the title is The Hands of the Dragon. And our cast of creators are Ed Fedory script, Jim Craig art, and Larry Lieber editor. So, I don't know how much digging you did into Ed Fedory. Kind of an interesting guy.
I read a bio of him like on Wikipedia
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago when I was in Mexico, and I read this on my phone by the pool.
Yeah.
So a lot of it went in one ear and out the other, but it was interesting. I remember him being an interesting dude.
Yeah, he's a really interesting dude. He doesn't, have a ton of credits. His first professional comic writing credits in House of Mystery 240. That's from April of No, that's not right. Sorry, I have the wrong date there. I can't remember. It's obviously not what I wrote down, just 1978. Okay. And the majority of his comic credits are mainly in like various Skywald and a few for one. A lot of Skywald.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's what I noted.
Yeah, and he's so he's not really but comic writing isn't his bag, man. He's Indiana Jones, basically. He's like a relic hunter, an amateur historian. And I like that he's like, he goes and does all this really crazy stuff. But then at like the bottom of, I think it was his like the Lambic Comic Encyclopedia entry, it was also just like, was a, high school science teacher for 36 years. And so I was like, oh, okay. He was a high school science teacher who did really, really cool stuff, which he did.
Yeah. And
so he would do this kind of, adventuring stuff, but he really wrote, as far as his writing career, the majority of his writing is for, treasure hunting magazines and like Relic Hunter, the book, and World of the Relic Hunter.
He's Alan Quartermain, but he's also a high school teacher.
I wanted to take his science class, man. That guy sounds awesome. Imagine if your high school science teacher is just like, I write for Skywald, and I'm a treasure hunter too. You'd be like, no, you're not. But yeah, sounds like a really cool guy. And Jim Craig is a little more well-known. He's a Canadian artist. And I think technically GCD-wise, Hands of the Dragon's his first comics credit.
Is it really?
It's how it's listed in there, but it's also, but his first like 4 are Atlas Seaboard. Because he does he does the 3rd and 4th issue of Wolf, and he does the 3rd issue of the Scorpion.
Things that haven't come out yet, but that we've seen when we do the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was confused. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but then he worked a lot of different Marvel comic titles. Like he would go on to do a lot of Master of Kung Fu. And he did the issue, he was saying like, he did some issues of Marvel Premiere. And I was like, which ones? 3D Man. That's the one that he did. And then, but I have to say, the thing that I probably know him best for is drawing the very first issue of What If, which was what if Spidey joins the Fantastic Four.
Oh, wow. I read that.
Yeah, it's great. Wow. I love that first compilation of What If. And he wrote a couple of those, or drew a couple of those.
That's cool.
Yeah, but then after comics, he seemed to have an even bigger career as a storyboard artist. And so he worked for whatever the company was that did like Inspector Gadget and stuff, but he worked on as a storyboard artist. Yeah, it was Deke, and then Gargoyles. So he worked on Gargoyles.
Oh, wow.
He worked on, and his film, his IMDb list is wild. It veers from like, he worked on, The Dead Zone, but also the Santa Claus. So,
wow. Okay. As a storyboard artist?
Yeah, as a storyboard artist. So he has a lot of credits. So he kept very, very busy.
I don't know if we commented on him when we saw him in later issues of other Atlas stuff, but I dig his stuff. Like it's kind of in that Rich Buckler zone for me where it's like, it's solid, There's some stuff that pops out that's cool, but he never, blows my mind, but it's always like, that's pretty good.
No, he's a solid artist. He's just like, that's good. It's not going to totally blow your socks off, but it's, No, I like his stuff. And the art in here is pretty good for his very first, well, it's not his very first, it was his first American credit. This isn't like his first art credit. Like he had created some characters for like Canadian comics and stuff. So he had gotten a little bit of buzz in Canada and then had obviously been, tapped by Martin Goodman or Jeff Roven or whoever eventually wanted him to be on this book.
Any Canadian characters that you'd heard of?
No, none that I'd really heard of. But yeah, they seemed to be fairly significant. And so, yeah, this wasn't, yeah, sorry, I didn't want to make this seem like this is his first art credit ever. But as far as America, yes. So, yeah, but like you say, I like his stuff, and I like the art in this for the most part as well. So, yeah, you want to talk about this opening page?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so yeah, it's great. So we have our hero, who is he's coming he's kind of in full kick, just kind of swinging towards this guy who I think is the fellow we saw on the front, but his tattoos are not colored very well on this. But yeah, he's swinging towards him foot first, and his enemy is saying, "Fool, you cannot stop my crusade of evil. You will share the prime minister's fate. Both of you will die." And all right, well, I got to read this opening narration because it kind of cracked me up a little bit. I was waiting for it.
I was like, wait a minute.
I know. The lightning feet.
Where's Jacob?
Yes, that's right. The lightning feet of the dragon flash toward the sinister, evil Dr. New. Is that just what we're going to go with? Okay.
Yeah.
That patron saint of all things sinister. His ornate finger pulls the trigger of his automatic, causing it to spit death in the shape of tiny lead demons, which narrowly miss the churning muscles of the dragon. It is a test of forces that began many years before in a far distant land, a contest of power that began, oddly enough, with the birth of orphaned twins. A mutual hatred fills the air between them. And then we kind of have a little bit of, then we have our action, and then we have a little disconnect at the bottom. And then it says, "Who is the dragon? Where did he come from?" Our story begins with World War II.
What do you think?
I mean, Ed Fedory has such a weird style of writing. It's so weird. I don't think English is his third language. I think it's his first language.
Yep.
But the way that he puts stuff together is very puzzling throughout this issue. And I thought that, I don't know. I have a feeling he thought it was very clever to where he's like, yeah, this gun, it spits death in the shape of tiny lead demons. It's like,
it's almost like Larry gave him like money for like tickets to 4 kung fu movies. These are those double features, right? Like back to back, you can see like 4 kung fu movies in New York. Like it's almost like he just went down. That was his research. He's just like, I'm gonna write like they write the dubbing for these movies.
Yeah, I know.
It almost feels like that.
It does feel like that. It's so weirdly stilted in a way that he's probably like, this is going to work great. I was just like, on the page, I don't know, man. I don't know if it works great, but it's entertaining. I'll give it that.
Yeah. And, on second read through, I told you before we start recording, I didn't think much of this issue the first read through. I enjoyed it considerably more the second time through. This splash page, especially, like, we get that thing you and I talk about a lot, that kind of Rockford Files, that 70s cold open, that's a preview of what you're going to see. It's also echoing the cover, so the cover didn't lie. So yeah, we got hippies in the background holding up protest signs and blah, blah, blah. And you see a dude strung up hanging from the stage, like a dead man. Like, there's a lot going on. And I like it. I like how chaotic it is.
It's really, really chaotic. I mean, our hero looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folds. I wouldn't think I would like it for as many fabric folds are on there, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, it might be dangerous to be around like mechanized machines and stuff like that, a hazard. But for comics pages, it looks great.
Yeah.
I definitely got the sense from like the cover and this guy we meet, Dr. New, who that this is like their Fu Manchu guy. Like they're setting him up to be like the father of all crime. Like, yeah. So I don't know, kind of a cool cold open. Like he said, weird prose though.
Yep. Very weird prose.
All right. So we're moving on. So on the next page, we have flashback to see how this all began. And we are in Japan. And there's an old man, and those twins we read about in the first page are bundled up on his back, and he's thinking in his mind that, soon we're going to get out of here. We're going to go back to my beloved China. The war has been cruel to us, the death of my only son, the death of your parents. So we infer that he is their grandfather. And in China, we'll find happiness that he knew in his youth. And they're in the shadow of Mount Fuji, and he's walking along. He says, see the glory it gives to the heavens. But then, like all glories, it will linger for a while. And I love this panel. Like you see him, like he's in the shadow of Mount Fuji, this majesty of nature. He's walking through flowers. And then the bottom 2/3 of the page shows a very different story. On the left, there's a column of 3 panels that shows a bomb stuck on the top of Mount Fuji. We're pushing in on it, and it says USA on it. And you can almost hear it ticking inside.
Yep.
And then a huge panel says, then fade, ba-doom, and Mount Fuji explodes. I don't remember that happening in any of the World War II documentaries I've seen, but okay.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Maybe that's the
no, I looked it up.
That's the untold story, Matt. That's what they want you to think, that didn't happen. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like I like that little kind of twist between like treading through flowers and the glory of Mount Fuji to the ticking bomb of the American bomb there. That was kind of a cool little pivot, and the explosion's a nice panel.
I like this whole page. I think it worked really well.
Yeah, me too.
But okay. So yeah, next page we have so the bomb has gone off, and he's covering his eyes, says, little ones, you are alive. I don't know which of us have the greater fear. It just says, the greater fear. And I thank the gods that you are both safe. But then there's almost like there's an illumination coming from the twins. It says, the gods must have marked the child. Perhaps the monks can heal his burns with their potions. I must hurry. And so, then we see him just kind of, on his journey. It says, not only the children, the old man found a greater strength than he had ever known before. So that's a new one.
Okay. Again, I read this by the pool in Mexico. Mm-hmm. So the first read was very superficial on my part. Reading through the second time, I was like, wait, so he got super strength from a bomb?
Yeah, he did.
One of our bombs in Japan?
Yeah, the radiation from one of our bombs that was unexploded on Mount Fuji. And it gave him a greater strength than he had ever known before. His youthful and flexible muscles guided them across the tortuous sea of Japan. So it made him younger, stronger, hotter. And yeah.
I don't like to be a cold, wet blanket. I don't know if this is the most sensitive treatment of something that happened, 30 years ago?
Not
at this time.
Not that long at this time. So no, not great. I mean,
if you didn't die in the explosions of the bombs that we dropped, there were long, lingering, horrible deaths. So this felt a little tasteless to me, and I enjoy trashiness, but this just felt tasteless.
Yeah, it's just like, I
don't know.
Yeah,
weird taste.
It is a weird. Yeah, it is a very weird taste and a very weird choice. So then, he makes it. His youthful body makes it. Says the monk's hospitality is as wise as it is welcome. Soon we'll have a fire to warm us, little ones. So yeah, I mean, I love that middle, those middle panels. I think that's great. That is amazing art.
I think the art on this whole page is gorgeous, actually. Like this bottom row, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
So we're led to believe that one of the twins also got radiation burns and is horribly scarred, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. All right. So our story continues, and they have gone into a cave, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's another one of these. We saw this before. Who are we not talking to? Jason Feinstone. Remember in Tiger Man when they tried to pull the sister's hair back, and they did this 3 faces and hair coming out of some of the faces?
So weird.
Same thing here, where they're trying to show motion without indicating that it's movement. So it's just like he has 2 heads. The grandpa with 2 heads.
It's so weird.
So it says, tomorrow we'll give thanks to my thoughtful friends, and my grandsons will know the, and he hears behind him a stalking polar bear coming up, and he picks him up, and he's squeezing him, and he's going to break his ribs or whatever. And it says, muscles near collapse as the jaws of the hulking death are spread farther apart. And then, normally a normal grandpa would be 6 times dead by now. But he just grabs it by the jaws and just like with this super Hulk strength and like breaks its jaws with his bare hands and then does a double hand punch like with it and like kills it.
Yeah, it's just dead.
And then he says, "You would have had us for dinner, eh, white one? I fear you will no longer want for unwary travelers to fill your stomach," as he loads up the kids on his back in his pack and goes back out into the snow.
Weird. Yeah. He just killed, I don't know, a 9-foot bear. Yeah. Enormous bear. Yeah. Well, that's what a nuke will do sometimes, Matt. Sometimes it makes you strong.
Yeah. Again, when I was having free shots of Don Juan and beer chasers, none of this sunk in. Like that he's super grandpa. I was just like, oh, he's just like a badass kung fu grandpa. I've seen that before in lots of kung fu movies. But yeah, I've never seen them irradiated by American weapons to being Hulk.
Yeah.
Mini Hulk status.
Yeah. No. Well, we learn new things in the Atlas every day. And every time we pick up an Atlas Seaboard comic, we learn something new.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. Next page. And yeah, it's basically, so, okay, here they're in the monastery now. I was like, master. And goes and the master is just like, oh, he says, there's a man at the gate. He wishes to speak with you. And he's like, oh, I'm meditating. Leave me alone. I'm meditating. It's basically what he says.
That's what I told my mom a lot.
Exactly. Right. That story doesn't track a lot. We know what he was doing. But he says, this man gives it to him. He says, you must see him. He told me to give you this. And then suddenly he's like, it says the medallion brings back boyhood memories. And to the aged priest, he says, "Ta-chang," and then goes and they meet again. Oh, it's so good to see you. I never thought you'd return. Then I like and Super Grandpa's like, yeah, one can never forget his home, the happiness of his youth. I've not come alone. There are others with me. Look at my pack. And then, we see the 2 twins, the grandsons. I brought them home. And so then, he gets some of the village women to come and bathe the children. And while they go and swap stories and get drunk, I think.
Yeah, have some beers.
Yeah, they are. But as can we just call him Super Grandpa now? Because I really like that.
I'm not saying touching. That's dumb.
No, that's dumb. Okay. Super Grandpa's like, as you have noticed, one of the children is not pure of skin. He has been burned in the explosion. And then the monk says, as long as his spirit is pure, it is of no importance. Come now, tell me of this war. When was it?
That's how isolated he is, right? I love that little foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. Hey, as long as his spirit isn't tainted.
I just can't believe he didn't know that there was a war.
Yeah.
I couldn't get past that part.
Yeah. I'm just picturing it something like Black Narcissus type of like environment, right? Where it's just like you're miles away, worlds away from the modern whatever.
Well, if you told it to me in Black Narcissus, so now I absolutely am going to agree with you. Now it makes perfect sense.
Because didn't they say like at some point that they like hiked all the way to the Himalayas?
Yeah.
I didn't do the math, but that seemed like a really long trek for a Super Grandpa.
It seems like a very long trek. Yeah.
All right. So the mere mention of war stirs Super Grandpa's anger, and he's like, "It's good that you never knew of it, my brother. I lost my son and his wife to that war. Now my grandson is marked by a force that has deformed him forever." And he curses wars and, curses the old soldiers that send the young to be butchered. And nice little speech there, actually, writing from Fedory. I thought about, the horrors of war and the pointlessness of war. And then the monk guy says, "So still your heart, dear brother, forget that." Are they literally brothers, or are they like, was he in the order and then left? Did you get a sense of whether they're literally brothers, or is it just brothers of heart?
I think brothers of heart, I would say.
Okay, so I thought too. Forget the past, you're home now, and peace shall be ever at your side. And then, so we get the beginning of a training montage. And we find out that one is named Wu Te, and he is the good twin. And then one is named Ling, and he's the scarred bad twin. And so we find out a lot of stuff, a little info dump here at the bottom of the page. We find out that Ling has been hanging out with this guy named Dr. New out in the slopes. And just like, I just like the image of him like hanging around, like, like wearing a jean jacket, like smoking cigarettes and like just playing Judas Priest. Like you just tell he's just a bad influence. Yeah, but there's this nice moment here where, Ling is training with this older monk. And he's got bested him, and he's on the ground. And he's like, I yield. And he says, I do not accept your surrender. You shall pay for having pitted your puny muscles against, blah, blah. So he's just about to kill this guy. And then a hand comes in and grabs the staff and says, hold. So, yeah, we've got some very familiar tracks that we're going down already, right?
Oh,
There's two twins. One's good, one's bad. If you've seen a kung fu movie, the training montage is when you can't just have a character be really, really good at something. They haven't earned it, so it doesn't feel right dramatically. So training montages are part and parcel of any kung fu movie. You have to earn the ability to get vengeance, or the one strike that can like get through the weakness of this villain or whatever. Like you have to earn it. And so there's always these cool montages that are pretty badass.
They are pretty badass, and they normally have pretty good musical accompaniment as well. But yeah, again, I just think that I think Fedory's writing sometimes can be really good, like in that kind of like, speech against the horrors of war. And the rest of it is just stilted in a way that is just weird, in a way that is just, I just had a hard time getting past it a lot of times in a way that I couldn't really understand. I mean, maybe like what you were saying, I think makes a lot of sense, that he basically just watched a lot of these kung fu movies and he's just like, oh, this is just how people speak in them, I guess.
It honestly feels like he just crammed. Like this is not his thing, but he was game to write a story, so he went and caught a couple double features and was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, and well, he wrote a story. So
he picked up on a lot of tropes.
He did.
That weekend.
Yeah. So next page, yeah, we see it's brother against brother. Stay your hand and your temper, my brother. Other brother, you have angered me for the last time, my handsome twin. When I finish with your face, these ugly scars will seem beautiful in comparison. And so, yeah.
What scars?
I know.
They don't look any...
They don't look any different. That's why I don't understand. Is there like a disconnect between the writing? Like, I don't think he ever has scars. Does he ever have scars?
No.
Not one,
and they talk
right?
about how hideously disfigured he is, and it's a point of his rage, and it's just like, where? I don't see any of them.
That was another thing that I just had such a hard time living in this world, because it's just like, oh, his ugly scars, he's mutilated. I'm just like, he looks exactly the same. They look fine.
He looks like a Japanese soap opera star.
I know. I was just like, oh, yeah. But then, yeah, brothers fight. It's like, dragon, ha! You are more like a cowardly rock lizard. Oh, my God. And sends him against the wall. Crack. And then, yeah. And then, so he's gonna kill his brother. It says, swiftly, Ling spins with murder in his eyes and a weapon in his hands. And it says the dragon's vision focuses on a figure racing toward him wearing a grinning mask of death. Love that little 3-panel thing there. Is pretty fucking awesome.
That is cool. I did notice that Fedory just decided to sneak in. Like, oh, everybody's calling him Dragon now, by the way. Yeah. You guys know that, right? His name's, everybody calls him Dragon.
I'm Dragon now.
Yeah, call me Jacob. Why don't you start calling me T-Bone?
Yeah. I do it. That's the kind of friend I am.
Yeah, I feel like he named himself Dragon.
He did.
And the monks are just being really cool about it because he survived a bomb.
He did. And he has a shitty brother.
Yeah. I love those last 3 panels too. Where it's just your insane, hideously disfigured brother charging you with a sharp staff.
Oh, God.
Okay. So he ducks just in time, clink, as his spear goes into the wall, and Super Grandpa's like, I must stop them. And then the two brothers like just, in mortal combat with him, clutching the spear. You kill your own brother 1,000 times, says Ling. And we get a really nice panel at the bottom here. This is kind of montage of them just fighting, and basically, we're not going to call him whatever his name was anymore. What is it? Wu Te. We're calling him the dragon now because he's renamed himself. We respect that. He's whooping Ling's ass. And he whoops his ass so bad that he just sticks the spear in the ground, and turns and starts to walk away, tromp off angrily. And Ling is saying, "I'll kill you," as he reaches out for the spear stuck in the dirt. I thought this page was pretty badass, especially that big, huge panel.
Oh, that big, huge panel is really cool. At first, at first glance, first read through, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like, that's really cool. Second read through, I was just like, wait, because it's weird. Yeah. Like there's parts of it, there's parts of perspective that is weird. His giant hand at the bottom, like all this different stuff. But I loved it. I loved how weird the action and the execution of this art is. But I ended up loving it even more the more I paid attention to it.
Like, look at that broken spearhead and that same one you're talking about with the giant hand. Like, it's almost like he went and saw one of those movies was in 3D.
I know, because it's coming right out of
3D.
It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a really badass page.
Definitely.
So then again, but yes, he's Ling takes that spear and he's hurling it towards Dragon, and Super Grandpa says no and jumps in front of it. And he gets the spear to the chest. Says that the dragon feels a coldness growing on the old man's skin. He says, "Run, my cursed brother! If my eyes should ever behold your hideous face again, you are dead." And so, yeah, we get that's the big setup right there. It says the pierced body of the grandfather lies limp in his muscular arms. His grandfather, "It was never meant to be this way." And then, Dragon takes him to a bed. He says, "I'm going to die, son of my son." And the dragon and Grandpa's dying. He says, "I will kill him. I will follow him to the ends of the earth and slay him with my bare hands." So, origin unlocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that Super Grandpa would really approve of this. He must have just expired.
Yeah.
Because I imagine he would lobby for forgiveness.
Yeah, probably. But no, he died before he could. So it's vengeance all the way.
Yep, that's the plan. Things have been great since Super Grandpa died. So no, he's still alive. On the next page, it says, "The flames of anger twist your words. Let an old man die, knowing his room is free from hatred." And he's really dead.
Okay.
The aged hand relaxes its grip on life. "Grandfather!" and slips beneath the darkness into peace. Nice little, I like the gold tones there, the purples and blues for the environment, and the golds and the oranges and yellows for the people. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we just jump. This page is packed with stuff. Following his grandfather's death, the dragon tracked his brother to Southern California because this is an American comic. Come on. The dragon built a new life for himself and waited for the day that they would meet again. He received a degree in journalism and joined the working legions of modern man. But he never forgot the ancient ways. And we see a little panel of him training, right? Just he might be mixed up in the modern world. He might be socking it to him and doing all that crazy stuff, but he's also practicing every night to be a living weapon. Then in the bottom row, we get to see him at his job. He is a news reporter. He's a TV anchorman.
Oh my God.
And he's sifted through bits of information. So he's an anchorman, not just because of the love of journalism, but also a way to find his brother and kill him.
Yeah, but he's not just like a researcher or a reporter. He's an anchorman.
Yeah. He's on camera.
He's on camera.
On air talent.
Oh my God. When I got to that, to where it's just like, oh yes, he's training. And then the next sentence is, he became an anchorman for a local news program. And I was like, I just died laughing. I was just like, oh fuck. Okay. I'm glad I read this now. Just for that.
Yeah. I definitely pictured him like whatever the Asian version of Ron Burgundy is. Yeah. That's what he is. Right. And then we get a little sex added into the title. So a little coffee will help you open those eyes, sugar. And a love interest enters, or a flirtatious person anyway. When you're around, who needs coffee? Thanks, Nikki. Got any good shots of the Prime Minister?
I felt like this was a jump scare.
Yeah, I know. Nikki has a 5 head.
Oh my God.
And she's got dead soulless eyes. She was like a blow-up doll.
Yeah, that was, I don't know, those 3 panels, that bottom row gave me so much delight.
Yeah. This page made me laugh a couple of times.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's awesome.
A lot crammed in there.
Yeah, like so much crammed in there. Okay, yeah, we continue, and with Nikki says, "Oh, they won't win any award." Oh, what does he say to her? Oh, any good shots of the Prime Minister? That's right. Yeah. She's a photographer. Says they won't win any awards, but I think they'll do. Here, have a look. And then he's looking at them and he's thinking, "Good God, if she only knew what she has done." And he's like, "Oh, these are great. I'm gonna take them home and work a layout. We could work a layout and some lines for them." Which is,
I thought he was an anchorman.
He was an anchorman. Why is he doing this?
He also runs the paper, I guess.
He runs the paper. Oh man. Yeah. So she's like, "Of course, what's the rush, lover? I didn't think they were that good." He's like, "Good, they're fantastic." But then, next row, he says, as the dragon scans the photographs, he says, "Nikki doesn't know these photos are worth their weight in gold. Here is the hand that caused me nightmares when I was a child. The illustrated skin can only belong to one man, Dr. New. And though the face cannot be seen, these heavy scars are a brand I shall never forget. It is my brother, Ling the Cobra." So, okay, he has scars there in a photo. Barely.
Yeah. And he's the Cobra now.
He's the Cobra now. That's right. Okay, the dragon and the Cobra. All right. They've earned those.
Did they?
They did.
I feel like Ed Fedory gave them those, so they earned them by virtue of being given them.
Yes, it's called inheritance.
Right.
And so then, yeah, now we get to see the dragon in the next panel, fully in his costume. He's wearing a medallion. And he says, "The Prime Minister is speaking at the university tonight. Tomorrow he is scheduled to meet with the president on the formation of an international police force. The Cobra and Dr. New will strike tonight."
So Interpol?
Interpol.
Okay, a couple things. So these photos are worth their weight in gold. How much do photos weigh? Because that's not really saying much, is it?
It's not saying much.
Okay.
And they're only worth something to the dragon. Yes, they're worthless to anyone else.
They're kind of shitty.
Yeah, they're shitty photos. I'm sorry, Nikki. I'm sorry.
But they're convenient because we see Dr. New's tattoos. I thought this was actually, I don't know if it's Craig's fault or Fedory's. Like, this looks like she was crouched down and taking a picture, and she got Dr. New's hand in the foreground, and then she stood up and got the photo of the same person, but it's the Cobra. So I was like, wait a minute, is Dr. New the Cobra now? Like, I was totally confused by this visual treatment of these two completely different people that are occupying the same space in her photo.
Yeah, but they're not, because the background is different in the bottom. Because he's going down the Trump escalator on the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
You're right. I did not notice the background was different, so those are different setups. All right, good call. Yeah, so the Cobra is going to be there, right? So let's freaking party.
Let's do it.
Okay, Jacob. So I think I caught something here.
Okay.
So he's masking up. He says, "I must stop them." And then it says, "Later that night, a green figure blends into the shadows and ivy of a university building. The Prime Minister has arrived. I must find a way inside without being seen. Hidden in the shadows of the building, I could easily kick it down." Okay, so question. A green figure. Is there a disconnect between the colorist and Fedory's script? Or do you think that he was originally colored like Iron Fist because they're trying to make Martin happy or something, and said, "Okay, that's too much"?
I would like that.
Would you like to see?
I would. What it looks like? Thank you so much. I would love that.
Yeah, no problem. So here is the cover, and this row treated how I think it originally looked. before Larry Lieber came along and said, "You guys, we can't. He can't look this much like Iron Fist."
I think you're right. It has to be that. Because, yeah, I would say there's a disconnect, but the colorist is pretty good this issue, as the mystery colorist is a lot of the times. So yeah. I would think that they're very competent and probably would not have that big of a disconnect between the script. So I think you're right.
So yes, I posit that this is what the character looked like originally before revision last minute. So I don't know 100% how this stuff worked back then, but I believe the penciler would write little notes in for the colorist that would like color codes. Have you ever seen those? You know what I'm talking about? Like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Before they get photographed and then they get like, yeah. So I bet that was changed somewhere around that point to give him a different color scheme. Anyway. Yeah, if we recall back then, he was saying, I could easily kick that door down, but door heavily padlocked against intruders. He says, but I must work silently. And he grabs this big padlock and just, and it just falls to the ground. So he is also superpowered.
Yeah.
So all three figures, Super Grandpa, who is the deceased, Ling the Cobra, and what it was, Wu-Te, whatever his name was, the dragon, all have super strength, right?
From the bomb, obviously.
Yeah, from the bomb. That is not a source of suffering for lots of people that are still around. So he says, the speech is about to start. Each minute on stage, his life is in danger. I must hurry. So he's dashing off. And then at the end of the page, he's up in the balcony and he's listening to the guy introduce Hirohito Tanaka, Prime Minister of Japan. He says, well, they're here somewhere. I only hope I can stop them before it's too late. So this is a ticking time bomb. This is Hitchcockian high suspense, like The Man Who Knew Too Much or something. He's running out of time, and he's got to find his brother and or Dr. New and stop them from assassinating this guy. Do we understand why they want to kill the guy working to coordinate an international police force with Americans?
Nope. We are not told. Maybe this is just breadcrumbs for us for the next couple issues. Let's just say that. Okay, so we go in, and yeah, the Prime Minister is saying, oh, in this world there are two forces, good and evil. International police force is going to destroy these sinister elements that plague the world. So, I mean, maybe it's because they're coming for Dr. New and the Cobra, because they're international badasses.
Good call.
And then they say, we must declare a violent war against criminals. We cannot yield in the face of those who intellectualize murder for the sake of an idea. We cannot. And then we have a young man who is who says, blow it out your ear, man. And then it's a guy. Okay, was he supposed to be white-haired and white-bearded? I said so much about colorist, and I turned the page, and I'm like, oh, fuck, that's right.
I know. In my notes, I actually have a note that says, like, this is like the one time that I think either the colorists tripped over their own dick, or like I don't know what happened. Like I think that the dragon's color was an intentional thing, but this seems like it's just like they say he's a young guy a couple times.
Keep saying he's a young guy.
Yeah,
he looks elderly. He says, and this guy's like, this young man is saying, why don't you say something about killing whales? Your country is trying to wipe out an entire species. We don't need whale oil. Why don't you stick to transistor radios and soy sauce? Leave the whales alone. Well, it's a pretty racist way to make a good point. But, also this young man is wearing a Mr. Yuck shirt that I want that shirt.
I do too. You're talking about intermittent fasting Santa?
Yes.
Yeah. Macrobiotic Santa.
Oh yeah, that guy is he's ripped, and I don't know if I could fit into that Mr. Yuck shirt, but yeah. So he's all done. It says as the heckler disperses. As the heckler continues to interrupt the foreign dignitary, so he's still yelling. That's right. Whales, man, when are you going to kill? When are you going to kill? Or what are you going to kill when the whales are gone? And so then, yeah, people are, telling him to shut up now. And I like that the dragon's like, the boys got some good ideas. but unknowingly he's causing a diversion for an assassination. And he won't stop. The next panel. America stopped sending whalers out 2 years ago. Who do you think you are? Some Oriental Captain Ahab? They're like, this guy's not making a good point. He's shooting himself in the foot. He's making so many good points, but yeah, coming at it the wrong way. But
Oriental was still very acceptable.
Yep.
Term
100%. But he's
what's the thing our generation said? Like it's like Oriental is like for rugs. People are Asians.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to explain to my grandma, like, okay, grandma, I'm gonna give you a little tip here.
Yeah. It's like, no. Yeah.
It's the 90s.
It's the 90s. Come on, get with it. But people are yelling at the young man now, saying, "Sit down, you long-haired creep. Disgusting hippie. Somebody shut him up." And then some guy, "I'll flatten the freak." So a lot of whale fans. Yeah. A lot of fans of whale killing.
Well, I imagine if it's an announcement of a special Interpol police force task force thing, probably a lot of cops there, right? So I'm picturing like these are like cops that are like, all right, I bust your guys' heads all the time. On the clock, I'm happy to do off the clock.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That guy looks pretty ripped. I'd be kind of afraid to take him down if I wasn't the dragon.
Yeah, fair enough. So this is all very goofy, and the more I read through it, the more fun I have with it. So, this whole sequence here cracked me up.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The second half of the book I thought was pretty hilarious, actually. Okay, so the dragon's up on the balcony. He says, "That hand, Dr. New." And he sees someone pulling a gun out of a robe. He says, "Suddenly the dragon's eyes are drawn towards a most singular hand, an illustrated hand. Instinct takes over as the dragon plunges towards his evil foe. No! And he just does a flying kick off the balcony. So like I feel like between the cover, the splash, and here, like this is like the most iconic moment for this guy. And Jacob, my brother.
What?
You might have forgotten this.
Okay.
But way back in this run, we had a drink whenever somebody tore off a latex mask.
Oh, that's right. Of course,
I think it was
I remember that.
Creature Commandos.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ooh.
So he tears off that mask a la Mission Impossible, and it's Dr. New. And he says, "Fool, your brother will be happy when he hears of your death." And he says, "Only you shall die, fiend." And then he says, "Die, you half-breed clown." And he's with his mega gun. Perfect example here of Scott McCloud's Comics Time, right? He's done a flying kick off of a balcony to a person standing at the floor level orchestra pit. And this whole exchange is happening. He tears off a mask. They're having a back and forth, like insult, response to insult, response to...
Yeah.
So I love this. I'm a super geek for any time a goddamn latex mask comes off. It just makes me fucking shitting grin every time. He does connect with Dr. New's head as a portion of the crowd stampedes from their seats. "Where's my brother? Where is he?" And he's like holding the sides, like grabbing him by the ears or something. Like, "You may have stopped my plans, but your brother will succeed where I have failed." Fun action.
It is really fun action. I mean, yeah, you're right. The second half of this issue is a lot of fun. And then, but next, next page in our top row says, "Mutely, a young man rises. Wait, don't leave." And then, rips a latex mask from his hideous face. That's two right there.
His hideous face.
His hideous face. Like you're saying, matinee idol face. And catches the victim in the crosshairs of his pistol. "You're finished now, friend." Like a dead weight, the prime minister falls to the stage floor. Yeah, ha ha ha, laying down. With blood oozing from numerous wounds. That says he's like, "You'll never catch him, dragon. He's too wise and cunning. This is just the beginning." The dragon kicks the guy in the face. Bam! I actually love that. So that third
Ling.
little panel. That's Ling, right? Okay, so Ling's doing this crack crack. I love that one. The purple coming out of that
this sequence.
Fuck, it's so cool. He says, Get your hands off of me, fool! You're letting the killer get away." He's like, "I'll stop the slob." And then suddenly, Suddenly a shaft of fire pierces the dragon's back. Ah! So he's been shot.
So this last row confused me a bit. Did the security that Dragon's tussling with, they're the ones that said, "I'll stop the slob"?
Yes.
And were they aiming for Wang, but they accidentally shot Dragon? Or were they aiming for Dragon because he was holding them up from going after Wang? Or whatever they were doing. It's like they're just seizing everybody of interest, right?
Yeah, no, the sequence is cool, but it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Both times I read this, I was like, I still don't quite get what happened here. I mean, I get that he got shot, but I don't know if it was intentional or not. If it was friendly fire.
I don't know.
Okay, so so our hero's been hit. Says I've failed again because Super Grandpa's dead. So he's crawling off. I love that all the shadow and just the light spilling through the door and him crawling through in red with just the blood dribbles behind him. That's a really nice, striking graphic treatment. That last page when Ling tore his mask off totally reminded me of Scourge. I missed the Scourge stuff so much.
Man, that was so much fun. You wrote such a good song.
That was good. So as the silhouette of his evil twin grows smaller with each passing second, so he can see him running off, feels like my whole side is on fire. Got to get help, but where? And then the cops or security are swarming. I could have sworn I hit him. Come on, we've got to get Tanaka to a hospital or he's a dead man. And so Dragon's like hiding in the shadows, wounded, saying, the Prime Minister's still alive. You have not won yet, my brother. I think we neglected to mention that when Dragon did appear at this event, his medallion and his costume is the same medallion that Super Grandpa had that proved his like family crest identity or whatever when he arrived at the monastery. So on stage, a bearded youth comforts the fallen dignitary. Get your hands off him, creep. You can't move this man. He's going into shock. Get an ambulance and some blankets. Yes, bearded youth. Maybe he's an albino? I don't know.
Maybe he's Steve Martin. Let's just keep that
true.
going.
He was shock white senior year in high school, He said. He says, I'm a med student. And if you try to drag him to your car, he'll die. You heard him. Blankets and an ambulance. Move it. And we cut back outside. Dragon's still working in the shadows. Can't help him until they remove the bullets. I must get to the hospital and wait till the operation is over. There's a lot of action going on. This like second half feels like a 70s TV movie or something, It
does. It definitely does. And is a lot of fun.
In a good way, yeah.
So next page, and that's hours later at the Greenspawn Medical Center. And then, so this is still the young man, right? Our young man is still there because he's concerned, he was a med student. And the young man's like, how's he look, Doc? Well, thanks to you, he was alive when he got here. Now he's in a coma.
That's a weird way to say that.
It's so weird. The operation was a success, but his body is very weak. I wouldn't lay odds. I don't know.
That's a thing people say.
It's a thing. It's a thing people say. It is.
Yeah.
And so then it's more silently than shadows, the dragon moves along a ledge outside of Tanaka's room. And so he sneaks in, and it says a feeling of death, fills the room. But do not fear, noble one. The essence and life and strength your body demands is contained within this medallion. And so I was just like, what is he doing? Like, it was getting kind of weird for a minute there. And then, he takes some kind of oxygen tent that the Prime Minister is in, and takes open, unscrews this medallion and has him breathe in the vapors. So
when I saw this, at least on my second read through, I was like, wait a minute. So why didn't Super Grandpa's brother, air quotes, know? He knew it was in the medallion. He saw the medallion. He's like, oh my God, it's you.
Yeah.
Why did they save Super Grandpa?
I know.
Okay. All right. There's a lot of things like this in here that are, it's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
It's fast and loose a little bit. So as the green fluid, this is his lips, like some weird lettering throughout this whole thing. Passes?
Yeah,
his lips?
I know.
I think it was supposed to say as the green fluid, pass, hyphen, ES. Well, weird way to break it up. His eyes open and he says, "Be quiet now. You are safe." I love that weird kind of shadow, like suggesting the dragon on the other side of the oxygen tent. And then a doctor says, "He's coming out of it," as he hears, "Oh." And he says, "A man with a dragon." And he's like, "I don't know where he got this strength." So the doctor's impressed with this whole thing. And then the end of the page here, this bottom part, the doctor says, "It's uncanny. By all rights, he should be dead." He tells the nurse, "Keep him quiet as possible. He's had a terrific shock and he's hallucinating." And the nurse says, "Yes, Dr. Ellis." And then we see at the bottom, the dragon, really oddly rendered and poorly colored, is standing outside in the hallway in the shadows, smiling like, "Yeah, I did that." So still carrying a slug deep within his body, the dragon leaves for the university. In the last panel of this issue, there's clouds kind of parting and some sun starting to come through. And the dragon's kind of limping off, holding like his neck where the bullet wound apparently is. And he's thinking, "Dr. New has vanished. Ling has escaped. As always, they have left violence and death in their wake, but no clues. Where will they strike again? What evil plans are they now putting into action? I must find them and stop them." And the bottom says, "Next issue, Dragon Kill." Yeah. So it's a short. It's 18 pages.
That's all That's all we get. No letters. No next issue. No nothing, Matt.
No nothing. Yeah. Let's address our shout outs before we move into the next thingy here.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of folks choose to support the show by becoming Patreon backers. There are several tiers of support that can fit every budget. The most popular one, though, is the $5 one, and that's what we call the pack member level. Those folks get the weekly bonus show, bi-weekly actually, which we call the Shadow Show nowadays. So it's on our off weeks, and they get that in the audio or video format. There's a secret podcast link you can plug into your podcast app, and it will download just for you every other week a new episode, or you can watch it on YouTube or our Patreon page if you want to see all the cool art and the visuals just like we do here on YouTube. So that's the most popular one. You can have access to the entire archive of our Shadow Show and some gated stuff that's just for those folks. And they get a shout out in the main show and verbal shout outs in the main show and visual shout outs in the Shadow Show. So that's fine folks like Ben Potter,
Blake, last name withheld,
Brad Elmore,
Brian Steed,
Brian from Marvel by the Month,
Caleb,
Dave Kennedy,
David D,
David Goodwin,
Glenn Lash,
Grace,
James Shigas,
Jared from Swords and Scrolls podcast,
Jason W,
Jeff Fitzpatrick,
Jerry from Buffalo,
Justin the Owl,
Kyle from the Heartland,
Matt Harvey. Thanks for the shirts, Matt Harvey. Everybody check out My Favorite Nightmare.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much for the shirt, Matt. Melissa Watts,
Michelle from Moonlit Comics,
Mighty Morphin Blue,
My Childhood Comics,
Pat Svek,
Rob from Marvel by the Month,
Sha David,
Tony Iupi,
Tim Tucker,
and Worm Drive Pro.
All right, much thanks to all of the pack members, but there is yet another tier to our Patreon that we like to call the celestial barbarian deities known as the Star Gods. And Star Gods get everything that we had talked about, all the different stuff that we have on our Patreon, all the bonus shows, everything, but they get more. They get specialer gated content. Like we just did a big thing on the Saga of the Human Gargoyles, and we did that just for the Star Gods. And
yeah, we got to kick out something else.
Yeah, we will kick out something else before the end of the show for sure. But Star Gods, after 6 months of being a Star God, you get to pick anything you want from our Threadless shop. And you also get shout outs on the main show. And these are fine folks like our friend Ben M, who we will be talking to hopefully next episode.
Hopefully. Bill Eschbach.
Brink.
Eric Hadley.
Jason Feinstone.
Jesse McFerrin.
John Walsh.
Josh Link.
MJ.
Mark Nivens.
Michael Giacchino.
Ryan from Across the Bifrost, a Mighty Thor podcast.
Russ from Taste the Pot of Dracula.
And Uber patron, Jackson T. Overstreet.
Yay, Jackson.
We'll be talking to Jackson soon. I'm excited to have him on our Western comic.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So yeah, we got guests the last 3 episodes, man.
Yeah, we do. So as Jacob mentioned, there was no letters column because this was the sole issue. And so there's no rest of the story to talk about because this was the sole issue. So that leaves us with final thoughts. Do you want me to go? You want to go? I'll go first.
Why don't you go first?
Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned throughout the show a couple times, I did not think much of this. I was heavily distracted and barely paying attention and having a great time. So reading this on a small phone, it was like pretty decent art, pretty forgettable story. Second read through when I got home, I was like, okay, this is actually pretty fun. Not great by any means, but entertaining. I was entertained. I did kind of saw how they were trying to set up some seeds for some bigger stuff, like Dr. New. I did feel like this is not fair to like have expectations and then to ding the thing for not living up to them. But like on that cover, his tattoos are so vibrant and cool and vivid. I was like, oh, I bet this is a guy that has like, he earned these like the way Iron Fist earned his tattoo on his chest, like in some kind of ritual, their power. So like, I bet he can do cool like projections of like light projections, like solid light constructs or something cool. And so when he was just a tattooed guy, or at least so far, right? We don't know what they're going to do with him, but I was kind of like, oh, he's just a tattooed scumbag. So maybe he would have become like a Dr. Fu Manchu with cool tattoo-based powers that are some chi-based, whatever thing. I don't know. Ling is interesting as far as like the, yin yang, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Dark Light, the scarred, hideous, angry brother with the versus the gorgeous TV anchor / newspaper layout brother who's trying to kill him. I thought this was actually kind of like had potential to be a fun popcorn, like silly, like read by the pool kind of comic. Like just, it's just entertaining. It's froth. You barely think about it after you put it down, but you always pick it up because it's super fun to read every month. I think it had potential. So I actually liked it more than I realized after 2 readings. I was like, this is pretty damn fun. And after like chuckling through it with you, it has moved up in esteem each time I've read it. So I liked it more than I wanted to. And I had a good time with it. So I can't say much bad about it.
No, I'm with you on a lot of that. The first time I read it, I was just like, oh God, like this is so bad. And the second time I read it, I'm just like, okay, it's fun. And the art is pretty good. The art's pretty good in a lot of places. It's spotty. And I mean, this whole issue quality wise is different from one page to the next. But in the end, it was fun and it was entertaining. And I do think it had legs. I think it could have, I think it could have grown into something that would be really, really entertaining, like you say, and something that I probably would have enjoyed reading. But as of now, I mean, it's pretty good. The story is a little goofy. Craig's art, for the most part, was pretty good. Yeah,
except for Nikki.
Oh my God, biggest jump scare in all of these Atlas Seaboard comics. Got to say.
I mean, don't you think that they were basically going to have like Dr. New and Ling the Cobra be like the man with one arm in The Fugitive?
Oh, yeah.
So he's always chasing after them and like they're leaving a mess behind this to clean up, or they're embroiled in more things than he realized. Like the time it took him to get to America and track his brother down, they set up all these nests of vipers throughout the country. Like it had some gas, Yeah,
it did. And obviously it was going to be an ongoing. I mean, we saw in that document that, our 4 issues were already scheduled.
Yeah. So, I mean, the impression I get from just like Wikipedia pages and stuff is that Marvel was selling a lot of these books. So it wasn't a dumb gamble, I don't think.
No, it was a smart move, pop culture wise.
Yeah. I think this needed a couple more issues to get its legs, or for some of these really vague seeds to bear any fruit, but I think it had potential. So not a rave review for me, but just like yeah, this would have been on my pull list back then.
Yeah. Ditto for me.
At least for, first few months. Yeah. So, yeah, Jacob, next up, we may have our friend Ben back on if he's available for Blazing Battle Tales. You did say it right at the start. You got it right. Featuring Sergeant Hawk. Yeah. So, I've been chuckling about this one all season because once we had like our first guest on, people kind of started coming out of the woodwork. I'm like, I want to be on a show. Like, final season, I think I should be on a show, or, we got to have you back. You were on for season 1, all this stuff. And no one, we sent out lists of like what's available, and nobody wanted to talk about this book. It was just weird. Is it Creature Commandos PTSD? I don't know.
I think Creature Commandos affected us all in different ways. And yeah,
fair enough.
Maybe maybe it was a little shocking in our audience. But we liked the other war book. I thought that, but we didn't have a guest on for that. You're right. That was just us for Sergeant Stryker.
We were loving it.
We loved it. I loved that comic. Loved it.
And and we loved that Severin story and the Throwing Adventure stories. Mm-hmm. Like, I think Atlas Seaboard's World War II output has been stellar.
Yeah, it's been really, really solid.
So, yeah, I was just kind of surprised. I know not everybody loves World War II comics, so I get it. But, like, come on, man. It's us. Yeah. Have a good time. Plus, if you're going to be on, there's already a damsel in distress right here. You're going to drink. You're going to drink. At least one drink.
Yeah.
And her name's Yvette. So she's a little French lass. Yeah. Anyway, it's got a script by John Albano. We like his stuff. He wrote tons of Jonah Hex. Yeah. Pat Broderick, we enjoyed his work. Whenever we see him, we haven't seen him a lot in this series, but I'm a fan of his stuff in general.
Me too.
And Jack Sparling, we've seen a lot. He did a lot of magazine stuff. He did some Atlas stuff. So he's an old industry vet, right?
Yeah,
at this point,
he's an old man at this point, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he's old. Yeah. So, I mean, the guy was probably in World War II. I love when that happens. Was. Not the war part, but the serving and then making comics again part. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that. And I hope Ben can be on. I hope he's available.
Me too.
But first on the Shadow Show, we're doing another of our free jazz, and we're doing another Nice Things. Mm-hmm. So Jacob and I are charting out some stuff that's just kind of like sweeping up the spotlight type of stuff that we talk about a lot. Some things that we've been sitting on. It's like, we need more eyes on these things. Let's show them to each other, and maybe some people will get turned on and check them out themselves. I'm doing kind of a focus. I didn't realize this until I realized it. Like, I'm kind of doing webcomics that have been collected because I want, in this trying economic time, to give people an option to read something for free if they can. But I didn't intend to do that, but I realized, like, as I'm picking stuff out, I was like, oh, these were all webcomics. That's cool. I don't know. It wasn't intentional though.
Yeah.
And Jacob, the next time we do one of these, not free jazz, but free jazz is typically us just bullshitting. But I would like for you and I to maybe put a cap on our Matt Emmons love and talk about Daystar, that book that we backed.
Love Daystar. I would love to talk about that.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
So I think I'll read that, and we can talk about that on the whatever the next thing is. We're gonna have Athena on to talk about I think Marvel premiere or preview, Marvel preview. Something Satana was in. She's going to read that and talk to us about portraying Satana through the audio dramas throughout the run of the entire show. So that'll be probably first, and then we'll talk about Daystar, which I'm super excited to read. Cool. So we're on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. If you are on those, please give us a follow. We'll follow you back. And also, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I will be posting a link to our ballot on Threads and Blue Sky, and Instagram telling you how to find it on Patreon on a public post. You don't have to even join Patreon as a free member to do it. This should be fully public. So you can come on and vote and get ready to do the finale with us, which we haven't talked about prizes yet. I'm going to give away. So we got gifted some Man-Wolf figures, and I had pre-ordered one myself, so I'm going to give mine away as one of the grand prizes.
Nice.
So, well,
Hold on a second there.
So, yeah, one of these, I got 2 of these now. So this is the beautiful, delicious, trying to get the light glare off of there. Look at that. You can switch the hands up. He's got arrows. He's got sword. So this will be one of the prizes. We'll give away some shirts from our Threadless shop as prizes. Jacob and I haven't worked out the particulars yet, but we generally just put names from ballots into his champagne bucket. He draws them out, and then we read their responses, and then they win a prize. So, yeah, we'll figure that all stuff out. But that's a way to find out where to get the ballot is Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. Or patreon.com/Bronze Age Monsters, where there'll be a public post. Again, you don't have to be a member. We'd love it if you leave a comment and like and subscribe to this video. It means a lot to us. And it helps boost this up in people's algorithms. It gets more eyes on this. All right. So, yeah, that was Hands of the Dragon. And, yeah, we're running out of runway here.
Yep. Pretty
crazy.
3 more issues and the finale to go.
Yep. Yeah. So, I don't know. Is there any other stuff to talk about?
Not that I can think of. You mentioned the ballot. I'm excited to see what people are going to vote for.
Me too. Yeah, I need to update my personal rankings of the.
I do too.
I've been doing. It's been a few episodes since I got caught up, so I'm a little behind. But yeah, I think people who've been listening along probably know how we feel about these books.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, if you are a Patreon backer, we will see you on that next Free Jazz where we share 2 nice things. Otherwise, we'll be back here in 2 weeks to talk about Blazing Battle Tales. As we say at the end of all these things, until next time, stay bronze, pony boy, stay bronze.